Parsons made his practice debut with the Packers Monday after a tumultuous ending in Dallas. Parsons became the highest-paid non-quarterback in NFL history. A 4-year contract, $180 million guaranteed, $136 in total guarantees. Earlier, we had his agent, David Mulugheta, on the show.
He got a call from Jerry's assistant and was asked to come in to meet about leadership. So when he got back from his vacation, he came in and he gave them a call, told him he was back, he was ready to meet. At some point during that meeting that was represented to him was going to be about leadership, it turned into contract talk. And, if you're a 25-year-old football player and your boss, who happens to be the most powerful person in the NFL, starts talking about contracts, it's hard for you to end that conversation. So they had a conversation. MICAH nodded his head out of respect. Obviously, there's a power dynamic that's a little different there. One guy is the owner of the team and the GM, and the other one is MICAH Parsons, a young 25-year-old football player. So I'm not sure if there was a miscommunication there by the time MICAH walked out, but at no point did MICAH believe that he was negotiating a contract.
We now welcome in our friend Rich Eisen, whose show will now be direct to consumer on the all-new ESPN app. Hi, Rich, that I was just promoting earlier. It's also going to be available on Disney+. Here's what I want you to know. It's right after us, starting at noon Eastern, so you can check that out every day. But
Molly.
Hi, Rich.
Hey.
Hello.
What's up, Stephen A?
How you doing, buddy? I just want to make sure, Molly, because Molly doesn't know this. Molly doesn't know this, Rich, so I'm going to help her out here. Before we do anything, Molly,
yes,
we must say hello to Mrs. Eisen, as in Susie Schuster Eisen. We can't have. I like my life. I like my life. I like my life. I know not to get on her bad side. Okay, let make sure of that.
Yes.
How you doing? All right, we got to make sure to give her love. Now we can. Now we can start.
Good to see
I'm good,
you.
my man. I'm good.
The pleasantries have all gotten out of the way. And Molly, I can confirm all the information that you just gave, and that's on the screen right there. And I could not be more excited to be all part of the same team with you guys. And you know how much I love your guys' show. So thanks in advance. And I can't wait to chop it up with you.
Oh, yeah. It's great to have you, Rich. Obviously, you just heard David Mulugheta, fantastic interview Stephen A. just had with him. What's your reaction to that soundbite that you just heard?
Well, there's only one team in the National Football League that has the owner and the general manager and the same human. I've always, in the now 11-year history of the show that starts on Disney Plus, top of the hour, I've been saying Jerry Jones runs the Dallas Cowboys like you run your fantasy team. I don't know how many fantasy football players just leave the drafting of the players to somebody else and the picking up of players in the waiver wire to somebody else. Nobody does that, right? And so that's how Jerry does the Dallas Cowboys. He always has. And it's just, I can totally understand what Mulugheta said, that, hey, he's 25 years old. He's sitting in the owner's office. The owner starts talking contract. He's not going to be like, hold on a second, Jerry, time out. Just like what you did, Stephen. And so, hey, I've got to back off here and leave it to my agent. So there's no other team that does it like this. And the question is, but Stephen A., you were right there with Jerry last week, I believe. I saw that interview. Yeah. It was excellent and enlightening, and also unique. There's nobody else that you could have a conversation with from the ownership suite in the NFL quite like that one,
Yeah. Rich, I had to ask you this, and I'm asking this with a smile on my face because he's hilarious. He was on the show last week. I was just with him at Miami, Notre Dame, Monday night at the stadium. Our brother Michael Irvin. Now, he was on First Take, and he blamed himself. He said that had he gotten more involved, he felt like Jerry was crying out to him, and he didn't hear the cries, and he didn't listen, and he blames himself. Rich Eisen, do you agree with Michael Irvin? Is it his fault that MICAH Parsons is gone?
Yes, it is, and he should blame himself on that front, Stephen A. And I'm not surprised Michael would say something like that. There are two I's in my first and last name. There's three in his. So
there we go.
He outranks all of us. He outranks all of us in putting himself in positions that maybe others might not place him. But I nominated him. I'm like, you should step in. You should be the one as an 88 clubber, divide 88 by 8, and your quarterback, and you get 11. And 11 sitting there, wanting to stay, and he wants to stay, and he's a type of guy that can actually, affect wins and losses, one would think. So, in all seriousness, somebody needed to step in for this to actually have survived the ground, to use the football phrase. And I don't think anybody did. Yada, yada, yada. He's a Green Bay Packer. I'll tell you this, though. I was surprised over the weekend with the news about maybe, as Schefter reported, my old college friend, that he might need an epidural to get ready for game one against Green Bay. I thought that the whole back situation that we were hearing about while he was holding in might have just been another card to place on the table in case it needed to be played come this Wednesday when the Cowboys are leaving the Metroplex for Philadelphia, that he might not have wanted to be on the plane. He could have blamed his back. The fact that this thing is, potentially real is kind of surprising to me.
Before Green Bay, in terms of them, where do you believe this puts them? And where do you believe the loss of MICAH Parsons puts the Cowboys?
I think, Green Bay was already in the running for winning the division. And what this does for the Packers, if MICAH Parsons is healthy, is going to be playing 17 games, can actually, be the same guy, despite what we're hearing with his back. This puts them in a Super Bowl conversation. There might have been some who might not have put him in a Super Bowl conversation before this move. But what this move really does is it allows Green Bay to show up on the field, to show up in their practice field, to show up in front of microphones, to show up amongst themselves in their locker room at their facility, to have the swagger of the front office saying, we believe in you. We believe your time has arrived. That Jordan Love is the same age at which Favre and Rodgers won their Super Bowls with Green Bay, that this young roster just needed this one extra piece to put them over the top defensively. And they have the ability to go ahead and make this cash. I think that's what this move does. You know how there's a mental aspect, that there's an aspect to any team, and as they go about their business to start a season, that there is some confidence level that does matter. It is tangible, and I think this is a massive move. It's so not Green Bay. Every Packer fan that I know always wanted Ted Thompson to blink twice for proof of life. Like this is one of those moves that you never see the Packers make. You could make the case, and again, I understand his statistics in the first 4 years of his career are Reggie White-like. We've heard that statistic about 12 plus sacks through the first 4 years of her career. There's only one other person to do it, is Reggie. You could make this case that this is the biggest move since they went ahead and got Reggie White, but that's some big shoes to fill. As for the Cowboys, I'm placing them third in the division. I always was going to place them third in the division. The Giants, that week 2 game, man, that week 2 game where the Cowboys
Giants can beat them.
Season at home against the Giants, 100%, Stephen A. 100%.
Rich, how high are you on Green Bay? Because we had Dan Orlovsky and a couple other former players have them now ahead of even Detroit.
I don't know. I would counsel a little brake pump in there. I mean, Detroit, everybody just assumes Detroit's going to be less than, because the last team that lost both their coordinators after a Super Bowl campaign wound up short was Philadelphia, and they needed to change their coordinators a year later. Everyone's assuming the same thing's going to happen with Detroit. Detroit is healthier. They don't have 1 million people on injured reserve, and that includes Aiden Hutchinson, who might come so fast out of the gate, it might change everyone's opinion of how Detroit can actually fare going deep. I think Detroit has a chance to make the Super Bowl this year as well. They're 100% in the mix of being a Super Bowl contender. I think a lot of people are overlooking them because of the loss of their 2 coordinators, and everyone's just assuming that Ben Johnson was Jared Goff's secret sauce, forgetting about the fact that he made a Super Bowl from the town in which I'm speaking right now in Los Angeles a few years ago. I'd counsel against that belief.
Before I let you get on out of here, man, everybody talk about Dallas and Philadelphia because they opened the season, and you got the reigning Super Bowl champions hosting the Dallas Cowboys. But to me, as far as I'm concerned, anybody that knows football, the game of the week is Sunday night with Baltimore and Buffalo. When you think about Josh Allen, when you think about Lamar Jackson, who do you believe there's more pressure on to get it done, get over that hill, that hump that is Patrick Mahomes in the AFC? Who do you think that is?
You might not like my answer, Stephen A. and I'm keen to know what your thoughts are on this answer. I view pressure differently. I view pressure differently. I do. Lamar Jackson's got that generationally enriching contract. Josh Allen's got the same. That if neither of them make the Super Bowl, both teams have a Super Bowl window next year. Obviously, the now matters more than next year. I guess we can agree on that. But to me, pressure is Aaron Rodgers, who may not get another Week 1 start the rest of his life. Pressure is Russell Wilson.